Hi, I'm Dave Reardon, sports columnist with the Star-Advertiser, and with Steven Tsai, who has been covering University of Hawaii football as the beat writer for 27 years. He's older than some of the coaches even, and one of those coaches is the linebackers coach, Sean Duggan. I think he's probably about 25 years old, but I've been hearing a lot about the linebackers and how good they are this year.
They're very good. And by the way, I think Sean last year was the youngest full-time assistant coach in FBS, so he's done a lot in a short time.
So there's advantages and maybe some disadvantages to that. He can relate to the players a lot, but then when they start playing the games, the overall experience level of the coaches can come into play. Now, I don't know at this point, I haven't boned up on it yet about UMass's experience as coaches, but I know around the Mountain West, Hawaii is probably the youngest coaching staff, but there's a lot of energy, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy, and there's also a lot of guys who, even though they're young, have been coordinators and have a lot of responsibilities. And there are probably maybe 4 or 5 guys just on the offensive side who could actually be offensive coordinators. I guess Brian Smith has the title, but Rolovich also has an important thing. Craig Stutzman, the quarterbacks coach, has a big say in it. Kefense Hinson and Chris Naoli have all been kind of well respected and can do the job there if they needed.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the feeling that there's going to be a lot of balance or something really close to balance with this offense this year, especially if Diosmi St. Just stays healthy like he did last year. And it looks like they've got some really good potential as far as other running backs, and the offensive line continues to develop. And it won't be like what the Hawaii team of some people remember from past years where it was kind of more of a passing game. If you go back further, back to the Dictomi years, it was more field position and ball control. This team looks like Coach Rolovich is really looking for balance on offense.
Right, and I think a lot of it came from his experience when he was at Nevada. He was the offensive coordinator. Chris Ault invented the pistol, which is a running-based offense, and I think Rolovich really liked the symmetry of that offense, of having a quarterback and the running back right directly behind him, so he can not tip off which angle he was going to go to. And also Brian Smith, who sort of got in on what they call the run-pass option phase. It's kind of the new trendy thing of quarterbacks, and develops a little bit of the options, got some passing, and they've also incorporated the run and shoot. So there are a lot of different concepts in this. It's kind of a Hawaii thing. It's a poi dog kind of an offense.
Everybody knows a little bit about Drew Brown, the quarterback. He seems to be improving on a steady plane, and receivers, they look pretty deep. Who are some of the surprises that you've noticed?
Well, one of the guys that's really been surprising is they got an Alabama transfer, Chris Posa, who was walking on Alabama. But the thing is, he practiced every day against Alabama's #1 defense and even #2 defense, which is still really good. And he comes over here, he gets a scholarship. He's sort of just supposed to be like a fill-in, little handyman. He can play here or there and kind of transition till they get some of the younger guys going. But he's really kind of stepped up, and it looks like he's going to be the starting right guard. And that just shows that if you work hard and listen and don't sass Chris Naoli, because Naoli will get you. That I think you'll do well, and I think he's shown that he's really worked hard.
Even though I saw some predictions saying that this would be a low-scoring game, I tend to believe it'll be pretty high-scoring, like the exciting game that these two teams played in to end the regular season last year at Aloha Stadium. So Hawaii, the line says Hawaii by 1, so I can kind of go for that, I guess, and say something like 44-43. Very exciting game, but maybe I'm just being hopeful there. What do you think?
Well, UMass has a new defensive coordinator. The guy they got was with Western Michigan last year, and they were 13-0 in the regular season. So I guess they can play pretty good football over there. So, and they have a lot of returnees. Hawaii, though, has a new defensive coordinator. I know he was in the program last year. They talk about they speak the same defensive languages and everything, but it's still going to be a test when you have 2 new defensive coordinators against some pretty good offensive teams. So I agree, it could be high scoring.